this week's episode, what on earth is the dyslexic alphabet? And what on earth did I put on my head in the shower? Before we get into the episode, please give me a cheeky little follow on Instagram, Miss Brightside25, and I'd love for you to give me a follow on TikTok and Facebook too. And I am Miss Brightside25 on them all. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Miss Brightside. I do love a little sing-song. What have I been up to this week? If you don't know, I'm dyslexic, and so is Ryan. So this is a little story about the dyslexic alphabet that I'm calling it today. I laughed with this so much. We went to a little family catch-up down Newport Way. And on the drive back, because I was driving, so Ryan turns to me and says, "Do you know the NATO alphabet?" And I went, "What do you mean now?" And he went, "You know, like Alpha Bravo." I was like, "Yeah, I think I know some of them." He was like, "Yeah, I think so too." So the two of us now start chatting our way through the phonetic alphabet. We're like, Alpha. Yeah, that's right. That sounds right. He's like, Bravo. I'm like, Fab. Oscar. Kilo. I'm like, no, that's not right. Hang on. A, B, C, D, C. Literally going right. Alpha. Bravo. Hang on. A, B, C, C. Charlie. Yeah. What's next? F. What's next? Ryan goes, Foxtrot. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, what about G? Golf. Bravo. Literally, we thought we were the bee's knees, right? Not realising we seemed to jump from ABCD to LYND. Not LYND. Oh, I gotta sing the alphabet now. WXYZ. Whatever. Anyway, we literally jumped through the alphabet. And we realised when we Googled it then halfway home that we'd missed out half the alphabet. Yeah, we did know the NATO alphabet, but only half of it. We seemed to do like A, B, C, D, E, F and G, and then was it L, M, N, O, P? So that apparently is the dyslexic alphabet. So that made us proper laugh all the way home when he started reading them out. I was like, oh, we forgot about that one. I do have a story to tell you today. And it's a story that is a little bit old, a couple of years old, maybe a year, maybe 2 years old. Is a very funny story, I think, which I thought I'd share with you. It was very traumatic for me. I was getting in the shower this week and I thought, oh my God, remember that time? I need to tell people on the podcast about it. So, I'd been on holidays for a week. Can't remember where I'd been. Goes in the shower to wash my hair. Gets in the shower. And I proper can't see. So, my glasses are really strong prescription. I think I've got like minus 4.75 in each eye for contact lenses. So, it's pretty blurry without glasses on. So I'm in the shower. I know what colour bottles are what, so I don't need to be able to read the bottles so I can work out what shampoo I'm going to share. I picks up the shampoo bottle, squirts it on my hand, and there's this black blob on my hand, but I can't see what it is. So I push it up to my face because it's got to be within, like, I'd say half a centimetre away from my face to be able to see what it is. It's a balled up spider. Oh my God, my soul left my body. It was horrendous. And I've got one of those shower doors that slides. It's got to go towards you before you can get out. The pure panic to get out of that shower. If my neighbours had heard me, they must have thought that there was a murder going on. Screaming my head off. It was, swear to God. I was like, oh my God! So I managed to fight my way out of the shower now, standing there, soaking wet, having palpitations, thinking, what am I going to do now? Because the spider's now in the said shower, tries to find my glasses, thinking, oh my God, I hope this spider doesn't run away because I need to know where this is. Goes into the shower. It's there. It's uncurled its legs now. And it is, I would say, no exaggeration, as big as the palm of my hand. Because we know what spider season's like. When spider season's on full force, those big fat mama spiders are out looking for a bit of nookie. And they like treat their boyfriends afterwards, just saying, oh, savage animals. But anyway, there she was. absolutely massive with the biggest fangs you'd ever seen. And I'm like, oh my God, what on earth do I do now? Pure terror. Thinking, I've got to do something about this now. No one can come and save me. I've got to deal with this on my own. So what you do in times of need? Voice note the girls group. Send a voice note. The girls have come back and forth laughing their heads off. I'm like, I gotta kill her. Now, I think spiders do a lot for this world. They kill a lot of flies and we need them in this world. But I do not need them. I'm terrified of them. I do not need them in my house. The rule is in my house, if I see one, you're free to be dispatched with. However, they are allowed to live under the floor. So I've got like a wooden floor that's like suspended, so there's a gap in between. They're allowed to live under there, I've told them. But if I see you, the Hunger Games is in effect and I can hunt you down. But anyway, there I am, getting freezing cold now because I can't possibly do anything else other than look at a spider, was also making my... And if anyone's got a fear of spiders, I get this noise in my ears that goes, woo. It must be like my blood pressure, like it's the fight or flight where it goes, panic run. But I've got to deal with the spider because there's nobody who can rescue me because nobody's around. So I'm like, right, how do I deal with this? I was like, right, I'm going to have to bash him. Now, because I can't pick it up. I know I've already had it in my hand, but I thought I was having an heart attack at that point, to be not being dramatic. I'm like, how am I going to squish him as quickly as possible so it's a painless death for him? He's considering moving now, and I'm like, I've got to get from the shower to get something to get him and make sure he's still here when I get back. Because if he's in my bedroom, I'll have to burn the house down. I wouldn't have, obviously. But I've actually slept in another bedroom until he was found. But anyway, I guess the hairspray can. And I had to pep talk myself, and there I am now. You've got to use your imagination. Spray can in hand, dressing gown on, thinking to myself, right, I've got to get him. Shower still running, in panic mode. 3 times I'm like, 1, 2, 3, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then a wave of bravery come over me, and I bashed him, and I managed to kill him. And then he just disappeared down the plug hole. And in that moment, my life had flashed before my eyes. But I was now rid of the biggest spider. And I nearly put it on my head because I'd squirted shampoo on my hand and there was a black blob as well. So clearly she had made a lovely little web behind my shampoo bottle. Oh my God. I will never forget that traumatic time. What have I come on to talk to you about today? I've come on to talk to you about boredom. I've been a little bit bored this week. And I've thought a lot about maybe the new generation who's got access to technology and how even us as adults who never had that 24/7 fast-paced ability to speak to people all the time, to be accessible all the time. Like a big thing for me is like I found in one of my previous jobs was the ability for people to contact me when I was not in work. That seemed to become an unhealthy habit. What I was thinking about this week is how boredom is so important to us as human beings, and how really the absolute best and biggest ideas come from being bored. This podcast came from me wanting to do something new and exciting one day when I was just sitting here where I didn't want to watch any more telly and I didn't really know what to do, so I just put some music on and I just sat there and let my mind wander a little bit. And I think we've forgotten, we really have truly forgotten how to be bored. And it's important to let your mind wander. So I wanted to chat about the boredom detox, I'm calling it. How do we help ourselves be a little bit bored? And some of you might be saying to me, I hate being bored. The key point here is nobody likes being bored, but in those moments, either makes you motivated to go and do something like, do you know what? I'd say that's even boredom or mindless. Say you're doing a mindless task, as I would call it. Like, I don't know. I like to fold the tea towels in a certain way. Don't ask. I watched that in lockdown. Is it Marie something Kondo, I think her name is, where she folds stuff. And I learned a new way to fold the tea towels, and it's a game changer to pull them out of the little drawer, right? Not that we need to know about our full teacher. But when you're doing something like that, I feel like that's when your mind wanders. It's like starts to think about things or where you need to be or what you got to do next week. And then sometimes you'll just daydream. And sometimes how quite relaxing that can be. Doing those just more boring tasks, and that allows your mind to be a little bit more free with the way you think. If anyone is struggling with maybe being a little bit addicted to their phone, with feeling overwhelmed even, doing too much, I feel like we're in the world now where we've got to say yes to everything. We've got to be places every weekend. That the man down the road is on Facebook taking a kid here this weekend. But the mundane, just sitting in the house and doing the day-to-day basic things is all right as well. So what is the boredom detox that I'm going to give a go this week? Ditch the devices. So I'm going to try, and I have to do this anyway. If I'm if I work in, I always put my phone on the landing as far away from possible from me, because then it stops me getting distracted, because I'm aware that is a distraction for me. So put it on the landing, and then I can work from home without any distractions. But myself, I do this quite regularly. Ryan doesn't do it, and it annoys the heck out of me. Is the binging of the phone. So I always have my phone on silent. I'm a proper millennial. I don't know when I last used my ringtone. It could have been in 2006. But that do not disturb feature, if somebody really needs an emergency, the phone call will still come through. But that do not disturb maybe for a couple of hours before you go to bed. Just try and do that bit of a detox. I'm going to try not to schedule too much of my time this week. I'm going to allow for a bit of time to myself, that I can just be like, I've got absolutely nothing to do, and then decide what I'm going to do in that moment, or just have a little sit down or potter around, because I think potting around is a bit of a boredom thing as well. And I think that helps my mind anyway. I find when my house is cluttered, my mind is cluttered. So that's a way I'm going to try and help myself this week. And also another thing I'm going to try is letting my mind wander. If you think to yourself, maybe when you were back in school or doing something recently, or listen to a meeting that's too long, if you worked in that world or been doing something, staring out the window and just letting your mind wander. Or it's really good for your brain. I have done that a few times recently on the weekend or in the evenings, and it's quite a nice thing to do, actually, just letting your mind wander. And it could be just doing something that lets yourself breathe and be calm. And it's a thing for your brain to become problem solving, because in those moments where you're aimlessly doing a task, or away from the digital devices or your phones, and letting our mind wander, that's when your brain, apparently, I'm no expert in this, clicks into us problem solving thinking, and creativity is where we become a bit creative. You might be staring at something and think, do you know what? That box is really annoying me, but you know what that box will be really good for? I could make something out of that. I could fill it full of Tupperware. If anyone's seen my Tupperware drawer, oh my God, it's a monstrosity. I keep opening it, ramming a bit of Tupperware in, and closing as quick as I can. But I've got to tackle that at some point. Maybe that's what I can try and give myself a task for this week. But yeah, trying to do a bit of a boredom detox. And if you fancy it, give it a go. If you're done, don't worry. Just do those little 2 minutes of a daydream in the car before you go back in the house to absolute captain chaos and the madness that awaits in most people's houses, and just back to life of being a mum, or whatever you are, or just that peace and calm of your house, whatever it is. Yeah, try and have a little think about that this week. Anyway, that's enough waffle for me. I really do hope you have an absolutely amazing week. Thank you so much for listening to me. You don't understand how much it means to me, you guys listening. But more importantly, give us a little cheeky follow on Instagram if we haven't already done it. Miss Brightside25. And remember, see the positives even in the little things. And have an absolutely amazing week.